Hi, Daniel.
Almost there. We'll wait for more people to get on. We
Hey,
should be
we're
streaming.
ready to go, man. It's 101. Let's get her done.
All right, let me scooch here. My puppy's in the way. I gotta move her. Well, welcome everybody to the Imaginators call here on Sunday. Obviously Craig's not here today. You guys got me and as your host, but we do have my mom here as well. Ooh, look at the fireworks going off. We do have my mom here as well. So, if you have anything that you want to share, like anytime I host these calls, I always make them a little bit more laid back. I was actually watching, and I'm sure people might have questions here, but I was watching the Super Saturday presentation. Has anybody seen that here?
Anyone?
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 That's
Yeah,
why I
yeah.
missed
So
it. That's why I missed the AMA.
yep, right. Well, that's what I was going to get into. That was the reason that we weren't doing the AMA yesterday, is that Super Saturday went a little bit longer. But man, I was like halfway through it by the time I got on here, and I can't wait to finish it. But there's a lot in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It's good.
I mean, it was like packed to the brim with not just training and ideas, but also a bunch of new announcements and things. So,
Yeah.
I think that's the only announcement that we have here. So with that said, the ways that we normally do these calls is you guys can raise your hands. To raise your hand, let me make sure Coach Bob gets on here. To raise your hand, there's a button below that does say raise hand. If you're on your phone, it probably will be there as well. So you could raise your hand, you could hop on, you could ask us some questions. If you got questions about YouTube or marketing or even wins you want to share, things that you want to share with the group, please hop on here and do that. We're going to be on here for a little bit, and we appreciate you guys being on here this Sunday with us. So thank you guys so much. I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to you, Dad. Do you have anything or announcements you want to make?
Yeah, I do have something quick for the Imaginators that I think people really enjoy. I did this, I posted this post, but I just wanted to share it on this video when people re-see it or watch it. Real difficulties come.
Can be.
Thank you, honey. Real difficulties can be overcome. It is only the imaginary ones that are
Unconquerable.
unconquerable. Thank you. I got my reading assistant here.
And I don't even have my eyes in here today.
I was going like, wow, I thought a lot of words there.
Yes.
But I'm going to share something. I'm going to share something with you guys and be a little, not little, a lot transparent about myself of some things that I know that I do that are very, very subtle, but they're things that are not good for me, as I continue to work on not only thinking the right thoughts, but also keeping myself in imaginary and the vortex and the energy and, that little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine and all of those things. I think as a human being, there's this thing that I don't know any data on this. I've just heard about it. And for those of you that want to discuss it, if you have something just to say, yeah, me too. But, we have this thing that's called the reptile brain. It's the part of our base of our spine that is always the constant fight or flight, fight or flight. And I know you guys know this because where fear comes from, false evidence appearing real or false emotions appearing real, is I've heard someone describe this, and it's very, very powerful because our mind's number one goal is to keep us alive. All right. So the main function of our brain, the conscious or the subconscious mind, is to keep us alive. And so I think it's pretty interesting that part of our brain is what makes our heart beat, our lungs breathe, our blinking happen. There's a lot of what we call involuntary movements where, I mean this in my world, thank God that there's something that, just think that if you had to think about one of the things I always see with dogs, which are really, really hilarious, is you can say to a dog, look, And when you say that, you'll watch them. They can be panning. And what do? They hold their breath just for a millisecond to try to focus on where their eyes can see or their ears can hear or their nose. They tap into those other three senses, and they're like, and then when they can't see it, they start breathing again, right? And so I want to talk about that concept because I do this a lot. I know that every one of you have heard this phrase that we really, the strangest secret is we really, truly just become what we think about the most. So for me personally, sometimes I look at my life and it's like I get into a not growing phase. I'm like flatlined, right? And what I mean by flatline is it doesn't seem like I'm, growing. Maybe the income is not growing. My group's not growing. And there's a lot of stuff. And what I find myself doing a lot of the times is, how many of you know exactly what your budget is? All right. So if you know what your budget is, most of the time, I'm always focused on making sure that I cover my budget. You see what I mean? And so when you think of the thoughts that you have on a general basis, and your constant thought is whatever, let's use your income or the amount of money that you got to make where you're not going backwards in your lifestyle, is I gotta make 30 grand. I got to make 30 grand. And so whatever your guys' number is. So now, if you're constantly thinking that, and all your actions and everything you do, and also the, it's just that, how many of you are been living in the same place for like the last 6 months? See, don't you guys think it's interesting that what we need to cover, we figure out how to cover? Right? And so if you got other income coming in, say it's disability or Social Security or Medicare or whatever things else coming in, it is pretty interesting that you can look at the last year, the last 2 years, the last 5 years, the last 10 years, and you pretty much are a winner. Because you keep pulling it off. Right? It's like, you're not getting an eviction notice. You make sure that you eat. You got electricity. Apparently, some of you paid your internet service to get on here today. But I want to share with each and every one of you that I recognize when I shared with you guys all that I'm going to drive another position to super affiliate and go master, right? And I noticed that the thing that stops me from doing the stuff I need to do is me having the thought, yeah, I got this month covered. And I was like, yeah, I don't need to do this stuff right now because I got this month covered. I'm going to be okay. And so it's interesting that if what you think about the most is actually what comes to you, with whatever beliefs that you have, your goals are not, I need to hit 50K. No, I don't. I'll get there. I'm working on it. I'm getting gooder and gooder each and every day. But when I stepped into this company about 6.5 years ago, it was like me and Matthew and Hannah and Terry, we all made a decision that we were going to step into MDC as a family, put our heads down, and make the money that we needed to make so me and Matt didn't have to continue building the brand, because we were done. We were done with a capital D. You guys understand this? And so as soon as we walked away from Life Mechanic and said we're not going to do the advertising that's not working anymore. We're not going to be under this pressure. The only thing Matt could have did a little different is really double down on investing money into advertising. And that's what sort of made Matt throw up the white flag. You know, so he came to me and he said, Dad, you're willing to risk this kind of money and double down, believing that it will happen for us. I'm not. If this doesn't work, and there's a lot of things that are out of my control that Facebook is doing, and if they do stuff and all of a sudden it did like it did the last couple of months on us, we not only took extra money that we really don't have right now, but we doubled down and now we're really in trouble. So I'm more of a risk taker than Matt is, and that's where Matt just didn't want to. I won't say couldn't. I believe that Matt could override anything he wanted to. But it was just mentally, I could see and feel his energy and knew that he was really stressing to make that next move. And that's what made him go, why would I do anything in life that makes me feel like shit? We got to do something different. So that allowed me to move my mind into MDC. And that's why I signed up 81 people in 13 days, did 41,000 in volume, went 25K, then 50K, made 10 grand in our first 30 days. I did that because all of my attention was I needed to replace, and we wanted to move out to California. We wanted Matt and Hannah to find their place. And so we needed money. And so all of my focus was how fast could I drive Terry's spot to super affiliate? And that was a thought and a focus and an imagination for a couple of years. And once we hit super affiliate, it was like my mind went, well, and please, when I say this, I'm just being transparent. This is what human beings do. Is we hit super affiliate, yeah, Terry got a plaque, and then, you know, a little after that, I think we hit the 7-figure before we got super affiliate.
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
I don't think so.
Yeah, so the point that I'm making is whatever effort I put in for that 2 years, I was there to focus on getting to super affiliate. There wasn't even an award of the 7-figure plaque back then. So it was super. Okay. So my whole thought was that it wasn't the income that we were going to generate by hitting the position. Are you guys following me? So now all of a sudden I hit super affiliate, and then my mind changed. I then took all my time to focus on people that were already in my group. Now that I'm at the top of the mountain, I'm going to turn down and do my best to pull as many people up the mountain as I could. Does that make sense to you guys? Little did I know at that time, I'm a little more, I'm just getting gooder and gooder every day in every way. And so now my focus is on helping other people become super affiliate. And in the last, 4 years, I have not done that. I haven't gotten one person in my organization super affiliate. Do you think it's what I teach, or do you think it's the person? It's definitely the person, because people could hit super affiliate without even knowing who the hell I am, and people have done it. You see what I mean? So Chris Robinson and Barb Miller and Judy Stallings and Jenna Zweigel, these people all hit super affiliate and didn't need any of my help. In fact, none of them are in my group. So now when you do that, if my focus was super affiliate, and now I achieved it, and now we got the ring, got the trophy, got the plaque, 7-figure plaque, didn't count on that. And now it's like, what's the goal? My only goal was to help other people get to that income. And I haven't found anyone. But here's the hilarious part of that. That's me wanting something for you guys and other people that you might not want. See what I mean? Some of you are going, listen, I would like to make 5,000, or I'd like to make 8,000, or I'd like to make 10,000, whatever that number is. And again, I can hit master by helping you guys achieve anything that you can imagine. The point with the imagination and being imaginator is if you just realize, I want you to really realize how many times you say to yourself with imagination that I'm okay. I'm okay. I got things covered. I have food. My bills are paid. I'm on my budget. I pulled it off. And I'm getting gooder and gooder. See what I mean? So I just wanted to share that with you guys because I caught myself. Now that I'm focused, I'm going, all right, this is the way you guys do stuff. Step 1 is imagination. Step 2 is tell the world what you're going to do. And step 3 is figure it out. So now I'm saying, I'm driving another position to super affiliate. And I didn't notice it for the last 2 years. But my mind immediately went 30 grand. I said, man, I'm looking forward to doing these videos. You're okay this month. And I was starting to see that there wasn't an imagination or thought after that. See, everyone says, you're human, you're going to have those thoughts. I'm okay. I'm grateful. Thank God. Everything's fine. Now I got to start contacting people. Well, not really. Because the thought is there. I'm okay. Thank God. Got my bills paid. I'm all right. And here's the new word that you have to apply. And you need to use it in everything. So say someone goes to Jamie and says, hey, Jamie, you know what? I just needed you to know that, I thought about working with you. And I really don't have time and I'm not really a people person. Listen to the and words they use. We tried this once before. And so there's always going to have to be an and after their ands. And there's got to be an and after your thoughts get dumped. See, so after I tell Jamie all the reasons I can't do this, Jamie just has to respond and what? And you want to live like that for the rest of your life? No. See what I mean? So do that to yourself. All right. I got to get this done. I got to get this done. I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to get gooder and gooder in every way. But I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay till the end of this month. I'm okay. I can put the videos off another day. I am all right. And then just say to yourself, and 50K a month would be better. And I know exactly the number I have to create to make that happen. And you know what? I need to start right now. I need to get that stuff done right now. And So I want you to verbally, whenever you have a thought that allows you to put things off and procrastinate, just say out loud, and what? And it's not really comfortable living paycheck to paycheck. And I would like to go to Dubai. And oh my God, first class, like 10 grand a ticket. And how many people would I need to have in the group to make sure that I could cover that? And all right. So I just wanted to be transparent with you guys that once I made this commitment to go out and drive another person to super affiliate, because I'm tricking myself. Because the upper position's already a super affiliate. Well, how about master? It'd be okay. A lot of work. But when I think about getting another $190,000 from the rank advancements by building a new spot, that excites me. To have everybody else say, I thought that him and Terry were already RVPs. RVPs. Wasn't that crazy? Super affiliates. RVPs are regional vice president in another company. It's like now I catch myself logging into the news position and it's not 1K. And it's like, so I hope that helped you guys. Do you have anything to add on that? Because I'm sure Matt does, because it's like, that's what we do. We always have a tendency is as soon as I'm like, I got to get this done. I got to get it done. The first place that I log into is my online banking. The second place I log in to is the commission calculator. So I'm looking at the money in our bank account. I know the bills that we have to pay because I can look at a monthly statement. Then I look at the commission calculator of our super affiliate spot, and my mind immediately, that reptile mind goes, you're fine. You're okay. And I don't want to be okay. I want to be more than. I loved it when I was making 6 figures a month. I love it when we got $100,000 check. I mean, 100,000. We made $98,000 one month, and that was our 3rd month as super affiliate. So then I got 100,000. So I made 198,000 in one deposit. And when we made the decision to help Matt and Hannah find a place out in California, we had $250,000 in one account. So it was pretty fun to go. You know, Matt and Hannah went out there before us. They found a place in Laguna Beach, Laguna Niguel. You could see the ocean. And Matt was like, damn, there's like 7, 8 families here, all looking at it. Leasing at that time was, everyone was showing up. There was like a bunch of people showing up. Remember when the market was really hot and you heard on the news that 5 or 6 people were making offers, but even making offers higher than what they asked?
They put that house up for $12,000 and we paid 15 for it because there were so many people that wanted the same house, and we paid for a year in advance. So
that's how I got it over all the other families. I called up our broker, Hunter, and said, hey, tell the guy that's wanting to lease it that I'll send him a cashier's check or a wire for the full amount a year in advance. And Hunter immediately said to me, that'll do it. So how many of you would like to wire, $250,000 to somebody and you had it in your account? You didn't have to borrow it or nothing. So I'm asking you guys that everything that has to do with awareness has to do with hearing about it and just watching how your mind handles it. You know what I mean? Because your mind doesn't want to put you in risk. Your mind doesn't want you to overwork. Your mind wants to keep you in comfort. Relax. Everything's going to be okay. Well, I should really, really get that funnel done. Yeah, it's going to be there tomorrow. And, you know, and I will say one more thing before we go there. Do you guys realize this? And I used to say this in trainings all the time. When you think of yourself not only as a miracle, but a winner, how many of you, I haven't shared this in a long, long time, but how many of you, if there was a movie that was watching your entire life, right? And you were like, what is it? The Truman
Yes.
movie, man.
With Jim Carrey. Yeah, the
Yeah.
Truman Show.
But just imagine, and of course the things that you don't want seen are not seen, right? But there's a number of times in your life that if you look back in your history and just would think about it, where if the rest of the world was watching your movie, your back is against the wall and you're in trouble. And it's like the rest of the world looks at it and goes, they're in trouble. And I always use it as like in school. It's like, if you're like me, I would take 3 months off and then I had to get a couple of, liters of Mountain Dew and crash for the test and then take the test. And of course I pulled it off. So how many of you guys, if you looked at your whole life, you got pushed till your back's against the wall and you thought that you were in trouble. And then all of a sudden there was something that snapped in you that made you take it the next level. Have any one of you ever won like that? So that's sort of the thing that you gotta do, is actually make an urgency in your life that doesn't really exist. Does that make sense? It's like, no, I'm not going to put this off. I'm going to do what's required and I'm going to do it right now. All right. And you guys have heard me say this in our podcast. It's like the way I trick myself, and you guys hear me do it on purpose, is this is not my business. This is her business. So if I ask her, what can I do for you?
Get your ass to work.
No, that doesn't work on me.
Get the new spot to super affiliate.
Okay. Do you guys see that? Because how many of you hang around family and friends that when you reach out to them, me and Matt do this almost every other morning. Hey, Matt, what can I do for you today? Nothing. Dad, what can I do for you? Nothing. What if we just had a group of people that we gave permission to? That when I reach out to Matt, having a good day, doing my message, doing a little scrolling, haven't really locked in, and I reach out to Matt and go, hey, Matt, what can I do for you today? And his response is, get that new position to super affiliate. Ooh, my son said that I could do something for him. Holy shit. Okay. Okay, I'll do that. When you do it for yourself, you go, I'm all right. I'm fine. So if you guys have any questions, you can lift your hands, or if you just want to make responses for that. But really, really understand that your mind, number one goal is to consistently tell you that everything's fine. Just keep doing what you're doing. You really don't need to be out of your comfort zone. Just relax. Everything's fine. And then when we do that, then what happens is the only thing that usually excites us is another shiny ball. Right? So it's not the path that we know that we need to take to get to our destination. It's somebody else comes up and says, oh my God, we're doing this new tap and trade and travel. All right. Do you guys understand that Josh Weigel's goal in life is to become a $1 billion company? And when so since I've been in this company, it's Josh's job and Jenna's job to constantly get you re-excited about MDC in any way they possibly can. So that's why you say, hey, we got a new product. Hey, we got this new marketing deal. Hey, how many of you people, to be brutally honest here, transparent, when Josh and Jenna came up with dream trips and the 25K to get a free trip to Greece, how many of you looked at the 25K and went, that ain't gonna happen? I was like, whoa, what 12,000 on the 4th level? It's like I don't even have a second level. So yes, there's some things that are put out there to get the leaders to take another step, right? But you shouldn't need external stuff to motivate you. So that's why someone says, hey, new contest coming out, and you go, hey, they ain't for me. The contest is not for me. How many of you, when you watched the training yesterday, and every part of it excited you, and then Mark Smith goes, hey, we got something for the leaders. You know, you go out and put 8,000 people, 10,000 people in this company in the next 60 days, and we're going to give you $100,000. And you're going, I don't know how to put 5 people in my group. what the hell are you talking about? So I thought that when your mind tells you that, I think that first you got to have a goal or an imagination. You got to have an imagination that you would be proud of, and you know the people around you would be proud of. And sometimes I think it's just got to be something like, I'm paying off my biggest credit card. Have any of you guys noticed that since the interest rates went up, that the payments went up? It's like, how did they go from 150 to 300? I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with that. I'm finding a way to pull it off. But yeah, I deserve more than this. I'm worthy of this. I'm deserving of this. Okay. So hope that helped. Anyone has it? Matt, you got any words?
Well, I love everything that you're saying, Dad, and I think you being raw and sharing just like it sets a precedent for the group and everybody in general, because I think a lot of us, and I'm even seeing in chat here on YouTube and stuff too, because we're streaming on YouTube. Thank you, Jody, by the way, for your donation. But it's very apparent that like everybody does this, right? Like it's something that we all do, and we'll have these comfort areas or comfort pockets in life that we'll kind of attach to for a certain amount of time, and then we'll grow. And it's almost like you outgrow them. You don't know why, like you're unsettled, like you're comfortable, but you're unsettled, right? And that's like the general feeling is like, oh, something could go really bad for me still, but I'm still hopeful that something could also go really good for me. But I'm just going to stay neutral right now and see what happens, right? I'll just see what happens. I'll let things play out. And the thing is it's like, luck and those types of opportunities and things only exist when you put yourself out there. And so that uncomfortability is a warning sign to yourself to go out and do something that you can make yourself proud about and trust yourself again. We've talked about this quite a bit, and I know you have, Dad, quite a bit, and especially on the podcast and stuff. if anything, it's almost been like a running theme lately, right? A running theme of talking about trusting ourselves. And I think a large part of trusting yourself is being able to identify and like call yourself out and understand how you work as a person. And so if you're aware, if you're aware of, I'm doing this thing again, like you're sharing, Dad. Oh, I can tell I'm doing this again. I'm not fully committed to the process that I'd like to do. And like I remind myself all the time, like you know, if you have big goals and big dreams, say you want something, you want to do something massive, you want to make a difference, something along those lines, it's good to ask yourself, like, this is probably the easiest I'm ever going to have it. Like, in the scheme of things, it's good to be fine with myself now, but if you have big goals and big dreams and you're honest with yourself about it. So if you say, I want to be a millionaire, do you really want to be a millionaire? Do you know what that really takes? Do you know the effort and the time and energy that that takes? And you have to ask yourself if you're actually capable of doing that and it's something that you want to do. And then it's just like, well, where do you want to do it, right? Like what vehicle are you going to use to get there? Because some hobbies can become jobs, some things can become other things. So I just love what you shared, Dad, because I think it just resonates with all of us here. And I want to say too as well, like for everybody that's saying me, that's me, facts, everything like that in chat, I appreciate you guys for reaching out and saying that as well, because I think
Yeah.
another huge thing that people don't normally talk to each other about, it's stuff like this, right? Because we don't want to be perceived as like weak in some way, which it's not. Like I've had this running thing in my life lately, and it's helped me out so much. Where I ego check myself on everything. I'm like, could I do what I'm about to do with humility and not ego? Right? Like, is it possible to go about this communication with this person with absolute humility and kindness and no ego, no attachment of myself in the communication, outside of the ways that I can serve them and that they can serve me, like being friendly with people, right? And I'm realizing the more that I take my ego out of the equation, the more relaxed people are, because we're
Yeah.
so uptight because our ego's uptight and everyone else's is, and it's always like a proving contest. And so once you have humility and you're like, yeah, you know, like I have been being lazy, or I've maybe fucked up in these areas, or it's something that I really need to address, or I just need to get active again, right? Whether it's physically or mentally, like learning again. Like I think one of the largest things that's changed in my life is getting back to learning, like constantly learning and trying to learn brand new things all the time. It's made my life a lot better. So
Yeah.
that's really all I have to share. Dad, do you have anything you want to piggyback, Mom, on what I shared? If not, I'm gonna go. Dad, you got anything?
Yeah. No, no, nope. You know, I could go on forever. I just wanted to let you guys know that now that I'm re-engaging, it's like I see I see the running commentary that's happening in my head. You see what I mean? It's like uh yeah, you immediately make up excuses to put things off.
Excusitis.
Excusitis, and I love this phrase. I remember when I heard it, is that procrastination is suicide on the installment plan. And it's like a lot of little things that you realize you didn't realize that slow but sure your credit cards are getting higher and higher balances. You know, you're not really paying attention to that, and all of a sudden it just seems like it just keeps getting not better, worse. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden you start doing this shell game, you know, where you take a cash advance on this card to pay payments on this other card. And it's like, golly, you know, it's like, and I'll tell you what did it, and then I'm done. It's I love taking care of my family. That is the thing that just drives me. And so when they came out with this Dubai trip or anything that MDC does, there's very few people that buy things from Josh Wagle and MDC before me. I just, if I'm at the convention and they put up the tickets, Terry and I got them. I can log into my back office right now and you'll see the day they went for sale, the hour, the minute they went for sale, while I'm sitting in Miami, was the second that I bought the tickets. Are you guys hearing me? And then all of a sudden this Dubai thing came up. I immediately go online, and first class tickets are like 10 grand a pop. And I want Matt and Hannah to go. And then all of a sudden I'm going, boy, not making a decision to just go in there and drop 40 grand on 4 first class tickets. It made me hesitate. And if I can be bold with you guys, if I can fly Coach next to the toilet, but she's not going to. You guys understand what I'm saying? And it's also, if I'm going to do something for Matt and Hannah, you can ask them. They love being in the first class seats right behind us. And it's like, why are we flying on this trip in Coach? Well,
I mean,
because
what's that saying? Like something, the necessity saying.
yeah.
Yeah, repeat that. Share that with people.
What's that? What is it?
Yeah, you experience a luxury, you experience a luxury one time. And if you got the right mindset, it should become a necessity. And there's little things. I know I'm talking big first class tickets or stuff like that, but we've had new cars from the time that I can remember. And the company is incorporated, so we get a lease, so it's 100% written off. So every time we get a 2 or a 3 year lease, when that lease runs up, we just get a new vehicle. And there's these little things that Terry and I have talked about, and Matt and Hannah, where right now when's your lease running up on your apartment, Matt?
Next month we have to. What we're basically doing right now is searching for houses and stuff in a new area and everything. But our lease is that we have to be out of here by September. So
okay, so the end
all
of
these
August.
books, I'm gonna have to pack them all up, which is not fun.
But Matt even brought this up, and I don't mean, Matt, to tell anything on you on a personal level, but Matt was saying, you got first and last, you got security deposits you got to put down on utilities, you got to pay extra money for the U-Haul truck, maybe hire some movers, and then
Definitely
all of a
hire some
sudden you
movers.
just go in your mind, it's like, wait a minute, all this shit costs money. And so the first thing you go do is go look in the corporate account and go, time to go to work. Time to make some things happen. Time to build a group. Time to do what we're doing. And I just wanted to be open and brutally honest with you guys and transparent that if you see me and Matt doing things, we're doing things because we're going to share those things with you. We know that in July of 2024, that things are changing. I will say one other quick thing for you guys is, I have some friends that make a lot of money in this industry. A lot of money. And it's sort of interesting to give them a call, and then they start telling you that their checks are 30 to 40% lower than they were 2 years ago. So then all of a sudden you ask yourself, wow, is it network marketing? No. It's the economy. So when people have extra money and the economy is great, I'll get in a business just to see what the hell happens. I'll grab a spot. You know what I mean? Let's see where this goes. Or, invest in Bitcoin, or maybe invest in like the gold bot. See, when you got money laying around, the economy's okay. You can do stuff like that. People are not doing that right now. So when you're hearing about all these network marketing companies that just used to post a before and after picture online, and people looked at it and went, wow, I lost weight. I'll try that diet too. No, they don't say too. They say, maybe this is the one that will work for me because the others haven't. Are you seeing what I'm saying? And then everyone says, well, if I do exactly what I'm supposed to do, maybe the product will work. And of course, you guys have heard me say this before, the instructions on every diet program is eat sensibly, drink plenty of water, and exercise 20 minutes a day. It's like, that's the three things on every diet program, because if you did those things, you wouldn't need a diet program. So sometimes we don't take it as instructed. We don't do the other things that we're supposed to do. And what would make you get off a diet program? I don't see results fast enough, and this costs too much. Those are the only two deciders. It's like, I tried that, didn't work. I know I didn't exercise more. I know I didn't drink enough water. I know I still ate the same. So right now, there's things changing in the world. And I just know for a fact that there's a lot of extra people out there. I heard one extra statement, and I'm not even going to say the show that I seen it on, but it was really, really, really powerful, where this guy is 70 and he was talking to this young black man. And he's going, I'm just sick and tired of you guys saying that the economy is the worst it's ever been. And I learned this lesson because me and Matt and me and Kyle have conversations. Now I'm scared to share this now because Matt will use it on me forever. Because Terry and I can look back 60 years and going, you guys are just a bunch of fucking babies. You know what I mean? You're babies, man. It's like you go back and look at the 80s. You go back and look when things were rough. The Vietnam War. You guys don't understand. And this guy said this to this black young man. And he goes, the thing you don't understand is I'm 40. And people like me and younger than me, this is the worst it's ever fucking been. I can have conversations with my mom and my grandpa, and they can tell me about how bad they had it. I'm just telling you that me as a young black man, this is the worst it's ever been. And I went, you could see the other guy went, shit, I never thought about that. And of course, it has to do with politics. That's why I'm not saying the names. And he goes, but there's a large group of young people right now that said, listen, I didn't used to have to budget. I was making enough money to get by, and that's not happening right now. So things need to change. And I'm going like, man, I never ever thought about if Matt's only been on this planet for 32 years. When he tells me this is the worst it's ever been, wow. It's like, who gives a shit about history? How far do you want to go back? Well, and
I think too, yeah.
1776, when we had to fight with pick shovels and like
Well, that's the thing too, is like it happens on both sides, because there's not, people are unwilling to like think of what someone else's experience is like without subjecting themselves to like a thought process of their own and how it relates to them as a person. It's very difficult for someone to think, oh, well, if this is, and I even said this on a podcast, right? Because like one of the things that young people deal with is the whole, you need to work harder, you need to work stronger, blah, 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 all that stuff, right?
Right.
And I remember being on a podcast. This is something that's come up in the past before, but the whole participation medal thing, right? It's like, okay, well, we got to give kids participation medals. I can already see my mom shaking her head. Like, don't give kids participation medals, right? Do you guys know where that comes from?
No.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, well.
But I'm going to let him
I
say.
don't.
Not us.
It's from it's from the parents being helicoptered.
It's from the parents. It's from the parents that to be honest, the generation before us, right? Our parents, and you know, take this, you could take this lightly, but it's just the truth because you have to look at different subjective experiences. If you had an experience that was different than mine, how hard is it going to be for you to not only relate your experience to mine, but then also to like hear the younger people out for what they're dealing with? See, today before I got on here, I saw that Joe Biden decided to step down. Like he's not running anymore. Big, huge news, right? For anyone that didn't know before they got on here, he's doing a press conference. He's no longer going to be the nominee, right? This is something that young people have been asking for a while. Like for him to step down as the nominee and to get somebody in there that actually has somewhat of a shared experience with the younger working class of the country. And there's this huge, massive disconnect between the young working class people my age, a little older, a little younger, and the people that run the country. Just a massive disconnect, right? So then we have things that scared the shit out of me, you guys, like AI. AI is one of the most amazing things to ever exist, will be. It's also one of the scariest things to ever exist. And to know that the people that are making the laws and deciding these things don't even know how to run their social media accounts and stuff like that. And they're making decisions on something that could theoretically change the way that history works, many, many things, right? And so we're juggling all these balls, and there's just so many people that are just not willing to like hear out. And it goes the other direction too. The younger generation is unwilling to hear out because of the blame game. And because a large group of people have told the younger generation that it's not their fault where they're at, it's the older generation's fault with where they're at, which there's some truth to that. There has been a transfer of wealth between the generations that have happened. But the truth of the matter is that you really, if you keep telling people, screw you, do you think that's going to make them want to support you and help you out anymore? Like it's just logic, right? If you have an older generation that has a large amount of wealth and they could give a large amount of kindness out to the younger generations, you know, building the fabric of society for the future, right? Especially if you wanted to be the superpower on the planet, it would be a good idea to invest in the younger generation of that country, or else you're kind of going to be screwed if other countries out there are doing that, right? And we know what those countries are. So I think, you know, as we've shared all this stuff, I know I'm going on a little mini rant, but I would say to everybody here, we all could do better at understanding people that are not in our position a little bit better and relating to each other on the things that are relatable and not trying so hard to find the things that are unrelatable and immediately grasp onto that and like write people off. Because I know for a fact we have what, like 20, 30 people that are on here. I know that there's without a shadow of a doubt people on here that disagree with me in my political beliefs or my religious beliefs or any of these things, that there's people here that I would also probably disagree with, but we're all here and connecting on the element that makes us together and makes us love. And that's the part that's missing in the generations, I think.
Yeah.
Is my generation, and I'm going to end it on this one point, Dad. My generation grew up, and when you said that point, Dad, that it's the worst it's ever been, imagine if you grew up and just had constant shit, just 9/11 and then the recession, and it's just back to back COVID and it's just all these things. And that's been your whole like understanding of the world. They're just incredibly jaded and need love, you guys. Like
Yeah.
extremely. And that's
They,
the
they
thing that's
need,
difficult about it, is
they,
that they're getting the opposite. They're getting hatred and vitriol. And that only causes hatred and more division. And
right.
that's, I think, the issue. I don't want to sound like John Lennon here and say all we need is love, right? Because obviously that's the truth, but it's hard to get to that without relating to one another. So rant over.
Matt, thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing because, you know, it wasn't too long ago where I was telling people the things that get me clicked into the right place is when I shared with everyone the song Love is the Answer. And I got like 9 messages from people that said, I listened to it and I did something that I've never done before. You told me to read the lyrics as I was listening. And people said, that messed me up. That really messed me up because it's not it should be our default setting And it's pretty funny that's why people like your mom, my lovely wife, her default setting is with animals because, you know, she knows quite a few people that she would not want to spend any time around. And some people like she would like to remove from this planet. But when she's around animals that have unconditional love, it's that's why, people, like animals. It's like, listen, the Dex and Leo are like, clingers. They're stage 5 clingers. It's like they want to give so much love. It's like okay, enough already. I got
Love,
enough.
love
I got
overload.
enough
Yeah,
love.
right. That's the golden retriever way. I love that
Yeah.
about them too, and dogs in general. But we're gonna open this up.
Yep,
It doesn't
let's
have to
answer a
be.
few questions and yeah, I think this is a great deal. I know for a fact that yeah, if you can start doing what makes my mind click is doing things for people that I love. And yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, I think that's something too. Like if there's people on here that don't have that element yet, how you get that element is by having that, exuding that out, giving that to other people, sharing that
Yep.
love. So it's like that's the interesting thing is it's like once you start opening yourself up and are less bitter or less jaded about the world or life, you'd be surprised at how much of a light you can be for other people. And like a lot of us say that that's what we want to be. We want to be a light in our friends' lives and our families' lives, or even in strangers' lives and stuff like that, and like actually make a positive impact. But when it comes down to it, we get ourselves so involved in the process that we're incapable of saying, like, even, I'll have friends that I always say I love you to, right? Like that's just because I love them. They're my friends, you know what I mean? And I always say I love you to my family. And so if you don't have people in your life that are that way right now, by being that person, you will find people that are like that. And some of them are here. I mean, obviously there's a lot of people in here that we say, I love you and we care about you guys and we support you guys outside of these calls, like whether it's posts or whether it's how many times have we all talked to each other one-on-one or had small meetings and stuff individually and stuff. So thank you guys so much for being on here. Now we're going to get into questions, or if you guys want to share a little bit. On the bottom here, there's a button that is raise hand. You can raise your hand and ask or share. You can also do that in chat since we are live on YouTube. If any of you guys want to share. Sorry, I'm just reading one of the people talking on chat in there. So yeah, that's how you can ask a question. But we currently have one hand raised, and that's Deborah. So Deborah, I'm going to ask you to unmute. Are you with us?
Nope, can't hear you.
Now,
There we go.
hi everyone.
Hi, Deborah. How are you?
I am so blessed. There's something in front of you. Okay, there we go. I am blessed, highly favored, and I feel deeply loved.
Thank you so much, Deborah.
This is gonna sound. I had one check left, and I can't write well yet, and I just wrote it in Sharpie. I don't know if you can see it all, for $250,000. Yay!
Nice.
Yeah, and I know I was been supposed to do that, but since Imaginators and prior to that, our regular inner circle stuff, my life had to change mentally up here. Oh boy, learning to rephrase, rethink things, and I imagine my perfect day with a house on the beach and a new golden retriever, and lots of things about my perfect day. My problem is I let all this negative stuff, and I think I was already gearing up. I sold my car because I couldn't drive anymore. And so, but Melody said, wait till you get a new one. How much nicer. And to buy a laptop and a phone to be serious about this. So, so I had that. I'm just setting everything up, but I am never been. Well, something prompted this. I had a bully of a caregiver, and I just had to close some accounts at the bank Friday. And if that, and pull out the couple $100 I had left, and that's all for the month. And I'm so sick of this. I was so sick. I am damn sick of this month to month
I'm
crap.
with you. I'm with enough's enough.
Enough's enough. Totally. I don't. So that caregiver's gone. And yesterday, I think I had an answer to prayer from a woman that wants to be my new caregiver. Godly woman. Yeah. Positive. I told her what I needed. Encouraging in here, uplifting, good things going on. And so I'm just praying I am praying that that'll work out good. And but that'd be great. Because I need to totally focus. The last 3 days could have been hell. I could have dwelled on what's happened, and what accounts I have to change passwords on and whatnot. And my daily choice is one of them. That's where I spend money, where I used to have a little bit. It's like all my products for, the CBDA, the relief cream, et cetera, et cetera. I love the products, but I'm not selling products. It's business opportunity.
Yes.
And you've taught me so much. I've been with you since Life Mechanics. I was in that group. So
Yep.
yeah, but it's all about my head being in the wrong place. And I know that God's bigger than my current circumstances. That song I told you last time we did that Love is the Answer song. I even played it for the girl yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she just, like I did the first time, went into tears. And that was cool. She goes, I like you so much. And that was nice. She goes, I hope we decide for Monday. That's when she'd start tomorrow. So, I mean,
Excellent.
But this just motivated getting rid of that person that's been ripping me off, and, getting somebody that believes the same thing and is in the light, like I feel like I'm back in. Now, I have to stay focused on all these positive, uplifting things, but I am so ready, Robert.
I know you are.
I'm so damn ready and sick of people telling me, oh, you can't do that and I'm like, yes, you can.
Yeah,
and then they laugh at me. I can. I had a very successful career. I haven't had money, since I left NBC. Not MDC, that's an NBC network, where I was an engineer. And that was great. All kinds of extra money to go on trips and stuff. But I made a commitment to, like a month ago, I wanted the inner circle. You were talking about going to Greece.
Yeah.
I actually said out loud, I'm going to Greece. And then I said, oh, I can't because I can't walk.
I know, man. Our minds are crazy.
No, I'll find a way. The logistics will happen and I'll handle it. Melody knows me well enough to say, if nothing, if you're, what is the saying? If it's to be, it's up to me. And she knows how persistent I am to get what I want. So with her encouragement and your example, Terry, thank you for being on these calls. It means a lot to me. And I so get it with the love of golden retrievers. I so miss mine, but I want a new one. Somehow I've got to buy a dog that's trained. You help me. So anyway, I have a lot of dreams. Thank you, Robert.
You're welcome.
You. And I know because the steps I took to be successful in my career, and it was planned out by me, and I knew I could do it. Sure, everything. My college.
You look at your happiest moments in your life, whatever you were doing.
It's always like at the Emmy Awards and Academy Awards, and I won an award. And I'm older than you. I'm 68, and I now think that I am going to do everything before I'm 70. I'll be 69 August 5th. So, that's a year to change my life totally.
I'm proud of you.
With your help,
I'm proud of you.
I mean it. I had never meant it like this. I mean, I feel engaged. And that means no one can distract me that's in my house to stay focused on what I need to do.
Awesome.
And
I'm proud
it's
of
so
you.
nice to go out and see people again and around the block even and wave to neighbors and stuff. Super, super nice.
I
'Cause
love
I've
you.
isolated
I love you,
myself.
and I'm proud of you.
I love you. I'm sorry I took so much time. God bless. Thank you.
You bet. God bless you.
Have a good day.
You too.
Thank
Matt,
you so
back to
much,
you.
Deborah. So we have another hand raised. It's Peter and Linda. So Peter and Linda,
Peter
I'm
and
going to
Linda,
ask you to unmute.
There you go. Hey, there we
Hello,
are.
beautiful souls. So great to
Hello.
see you.
You beautiful beings. Look at that. They're so gorgeous. And look at that.
Oh my goodness, so
Look at
cutie.
the paw. Look at his paw. I'm
Having a
waiting-
hand
I think
massage. I want a
waiting
hand
for- no, I
massage.
think it's a manicure there. A paw cure.
So how are you guys? How are you guys doing?
We're great. We I have a billion things I want to talk about with you, right? But that's a whole entire series. But so one thing we really want to share with you, thank you, baby, is the experience that we had with I don't know if you guys have seen the Apple Vision Pro yet.
Matt, yeah.
Matt, you've seen that, right? You talked about it the other day?
We went for a
Yeah.
demo on Friday and it was so freaking amazing. Like, oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
God.
I haven't been able to try it yet myself, but I do have
Right.
like the predecessors before it around me. So
Oh.
like I have all the Meta headsets and stuff. So I'm excited to try
the
the
gadgets.
Apple one. It just I'm not an Apple guy per se. So
Android.
that's right.
Anyways,
But no,
it's
I'm
just
excited to try it.
imagination.
Everybody's on their own journey.
Yeah.
I get it. I totally get it.
How old were you when you started?
I'm right there with you.
But tell us about tell me about your experiences. Like people tell me all the time when we're in her Tesla Plaid. You know what I mean? They always want to either say, I would never buy one of those, or they always want to tell me about another car that's supposedly supposed to be better. And I'm going like, I totally get people that have never experienced what I've experienced. And then they're telling me that, me and Matt were talking about this recently, and this doesn't mean that you guys shouldn't do this, but Matt's made millions of dollars with the funnels he creates. And he gets in a creative state, but more than Matt being creative, Matt is also a marketer. And so he creates stuff, and then people immediately go to him, look at the funnel, and he gets all these people that send him messages. Hey, you should change this. You should change this. You ever thought about doing this? You ever thought about adding this? And maybe you should do this. And Matt's like, so how much money have you made from your funnel? And
They're in person, they talk.
There's things that I'll apologize for, and then there's things I won't. So Matthew and Kyle have hung around me, and my older son have hung around me for a long time. And when they say to people, which used to be a statement, is just how big is your stack? How big is your stack? Matt's been a CEO of a corporation that's done, almost $5 million in revenue. You know what I mean? It's like people are like, hey, let me tell you what you should do with your funnel. And it's like, why don't you shut up? Pay attention.
I've actually, I was gonna say, there's even lately, I'm like one of those people. If you've seen me, I'll be like, okay, give me your ideas, because I think I said this on the last podcast, or maybe it was a different call, but I take people's wisdom for what I can get for it, like out of anyone giving recommendations or ideas to me. And I find, like, if you're okay to say that's interesting, or I'll take a look at this, or whatever it may be, like I don't know, sometimes we close ourselves off to great ideas by them being peppered around with a bunch of bad ideas. like, because we can't, like, I've had issues in the past, you know, of being a little difficult with criticism, like even constructive criticism, because when you have success in different areas, you get stuck in your ways and you see people doing this. But the truth is like, I know that Peter, you work in IT, correct?
Yeah.
So when you work with technology, it's like an ever-changing business. You don't have the opportunity to just be like, I'm learning this set of information and I'm good now for the rest of my career. It just doesn't work that way.
Right. Yeah.
You either are one of those people that's like, I wanna figure this out, I'm gonna learn the next thing, or you're not. And I've learned so much more now by asking for people's opinions. And I've also gotten my ego out of the way. So now I can like actually take criticism and constructive criticism
Yes.
better. Because I wouldn't be on these calls and talk to you guys and give my opinions if I wasn't open to your criticism.
Right.
And that's the thing people are scared of the most. They're scared that if I say how I feel or if I act the way that I am, I might get criticized for it. And it's one of the hardest hurdles to get over in life. I'm still working on it, as we all are. But
100%. Yeah.
You're doing great. I'm so sorry for the rant. Me and Matt went sort of sideways there, but tell us how excited you were when you put on the Vision Pro.
Please.
So it was really great, actually. What I'm trying to imagine is what we imagined, because okay, there's two imaginations here.
What?
Okay. Sorry, there's two again, I want to tell you a billion things and I can't, right? Because we got so much time, but not so much time. But there's the imagination of how this person came up to
With
invent
ideas.
this, with this idea, with this, how it just how it thought of almost everything. You know what I mean? I can see us almost grabbing it, like we almost like.
It was so
Yeah, it was
good.
like we were ready to grab it, right? But the one thing that I didn't really that would have sold us is if it connected together, because we could sit there and watch a movie,
But we're in our own world.
exactly.
So now there is no connection, right?
Yeah. So if it
They're aware of that.
connected,
Yeah.
and it allowed us both to do a movie together, it's like, okay, slap it on the credit card. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was just amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I've played around with virtual reality stuff since like a long time ago. If I go to like my bigger frame, you can see this is the newest one, right? So I have a couple of them and stuff, but man, I remember talking to my parents, and I've always been like I was like trying to get a Tesla and get the money to get a Tesla when they're out, because that was something I just love the technology. I'm not really a car person, but I just love technology.
right.
So I was that type of person that had the base, if any of you guys have seen them, where you had to wire the base stations around, and then you would have this big headset on, and then that would have a wire running down the back of it.
Yeah, you used to take Matt an hour to set up virtual reality. And of course,
and honestly,
Matt's
my wife
Matt's got to get the best of everything. So when you see him bringing the poles down and setting it up and doing all this, and then he comes in and he's like carrying his giant computer, and I'm going, you brought your whole computer over here? And he's like, well,
it's the only way it works.
Because I gotta have the biggest damn computer.
I'm like, you guys don't get that you're about to experience something that has never existed before. And then I was like one of those advocates that I would bring all of my shit over, because I was like, no, once you see what this is like, it's gonna blow your minds. And it's interesting to see how far it's come from that. You know, like you were talking about playing in the same room together. I know for a fact that Apple will do that, of course, especially with their next headset. I've heard that they've already kind of slowed down manufacturing of the Pro, because they're going to start working on the one that we'll all use, right?
Deluxe.
Right. Yeah, the one that we'll all actually be able to afford and use without it being like $3,500, right? But what's crazy about like the mixed reality stuff in general is that other headset that I showed you, the white one, the Quest 3, Meta Quest 3, right?
Right.
It has mixed reality, and me and my wife can put a pool table in the middle of our living room, both with headsets on, and play pool with each other. and have drinks and even hang out with friends or other people in a mixed reality setting where it's like I
How
see
do
my
you
couch there, my
high
dogs.
five each other?
You can high five each other in real life, yeah, you know, but but that's the thing is like when you see the technology, immediately what I start doing is I'm like, oh shit, like my children are going to be in for like a whole different world, man, than the one
Yeah.
I had, right?
Yeah.
Because I had like just the beginning of dial-up internet and the internet being a thing. So I can't
Right.
imagine how they're going to be able to hang out with their friends and stuff. But did you guys have anything else you want to share
No,
about
no,
it?
it was just really amazing. It really sparks your imagination. Exactly. It just breaks so many walls. Like, honestly, I feel like I am in a Star Trek
Yeah.
a movie, I'm
Yeah.
like, Star Trek is
Or
really for
Iron
real
Man or
here.
Mhm.
Those glasses, those goggles, it was like, a whole holodeck, with your
Right.
glasses, you know what I mean? It's amazing. So I felt a feeling of empowerment and, wondering and curiosity. So sometimes something that I'm actually working on purposely is to spark up that curiosity again, because I've noticed that
Yeah.
throughout the years, it has just, come down a lot. So in that curiosity, that discovery is a whole different total energy. It is more in what is going to unfold as opposed as I'm afraid of what's going to happen. So anyways, it was a great experience, and because it just tackles the imagination so much, so we just
Well,
want to
thank
share
you.
that in here.
Yeah.
It was-
Thank you so much for sharing that, because
Mhm.
I would tell each and every one of you, even though you don't think that it would be, one of the biggest things we were always told from the time 37 years ago is that we needed to go to open houses. Seeing your mind just goes, God, I don't have any money in savings. I don't have a down payment. I can't afford the payments. You just don't understand. How many homes have you and I been in?
Mhm.
Did you hear? She said not enough.
Yeah.
And when we're not going into new homes, then she watches $1 million listings. She loves watching all these $1 million listing places and just walk through the houses and the other
I know.
ideas and all kinds of stuff. And the other thing is go to car dealerships. You know what I mean?
Right.
And we used to do a thing where it was really funny. We would actually tell people to find a jar with a lid on it. And when you go there, that have someone take a picture of you sitting in the car. And then what you do is you sit in the car with the jar open and you get new car smell. You know what I mean? You get new car smell, and then you put the lid on it, put your picture in there and put the lid on it. You know what I mean? And there was always these things that we would always do to, stretch your imagination. I got a cool quick download just as I'm telling you guys this, because, man, I don't, there used to be the whole concept of building a vision board. But man, if the thing that's really exciting me is whenever they talk about dream trips and they start showing these places. There's a couple that we have in Colombia, Daniel, and him and his wife are the number one users that I know of in all of MDC with High Life Travel.
Oh,
And
wow.
they went in hook, line, and sinker, and they go, you wouldn't believe the places that we've been to where we're finding these 1 week stays, and these like Airbnbs and stuff, and it's like $199. So of course, when Dream Trips came in, it's like, if you guys ever said that, so the one thing that Daniel is good at and his wife are good at is, of course, they take a bunch of pictures and stuff and they share it with all their family and friends. And they're going like, what the hell did that cost? You guys had a lake, a house on a lake,
Yeah.
and it had wave runners, and that was part of the deal. And they go, yeah, we stayed there for a week for $199. And people are like, no way. No way. See, so that's why I tell people that Dream Trips gets people, because there hasn't been one time that we've watched Mark Smith or someone do a Dream Trip presentation and watch his wife Tammy go through all the trips. And every time we do it, she looks at it and goes, man, we could go to Prague or Budapest for $200
Yeah,
for a
it's
week. It's like,
incredible.
what? You know,
Yeah,
it's like, and
Yeah.
if you guys really not to get on the deal that was on yesterday, but the thing that made World Ventures $6 billion and Dream Trips was their main product is what they mentioned yesterday. Because listen, if you're building it and you're getting reward points, and now all of a sudden you want to fly for $10,000 first class and a sleeping deal, on Virgin or Cathay Pacific or Emirates, you know what I mean?
Right.
These are the upper echelons of, or maybe even a private jet. To think that you could use the points that you have in a back office to actually purchase the ticket from the concierge, and they'll go book the ticket, and now you got a $10,000 ticket, and that's what they're, and no money
Wow.
in your pocket. It's
Wow.
called, that's why they're calling it guilt-free.
Right. Yeah,
The
yeah,
reason it's called guilt-free is I spend 10 grand on a first place ticket going to Europe, but I'm not guilt-free.
yeah. Right.
Yeah, I'm just telling you that
Yeah.
my mind immediately
Yeah.
goes, oh my God, $10,000 a ticket. Like I said, it's like, if you got the money, it doesn't mean it's guilt-free.
Right. Right.
Yes.
But if I had the points in there and I could go on dream trips and it cost me nothing, even if the trip was like $1,800 to go to Dubai for me and Terry.
It's
And
even sweeter.
I get to use the ticket, the points to buy that.
Mhm.
You know,
Wow.
it's like, man, it's like, so I'm new to this too, but I always wondered why they grew so fast. I think they did $982 million in 1 year.
Wow.
Wow. That's huge.
That is crazy huge.
I
That's crazy.
And
can't
every
yet
time they
imagine that.
talk about that money, that number, you guys don't ever think about, with Josh, when you hear he did $170 million, you know what no one ever does? They go, oh my God, that's 80 million dollars that was paid out to the field.
Right. Yeah.
So when I see numbers of a company, so World Ventures with Dream Chits did $6 billion.
Well, yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot of payouts.
That means that they paid maybe $2 billion out to the reps.
Wow. Wow.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
That's the
Like,
number I
how
always.
much better can it get?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for sharing that.
I
It's
do want to
like,
share one more thing though.
please.
Here's the funny thing, and this is pure. I think it's a connection with imagination and God, the spirit, whatever we want to call it. So here's the situation. I've been looking ever since I used to work for T-Mobile back in 2000, I think, or about 2003, and there was this one guy who I mentored. Or not I mentored, sorry, he was my mentor, and he was my supervisor kind of thing, and he was the way he spoke, the way he his demeanor, he was a really great guy, and for the last 2, maybe even 3 years, I have been looking, Facebook searching, asking, come on, when am I going to be able to find this guy? Where is this guy? Is he still in Toronto? So we were supposed to scheduled our Vision Pro demo
Right.
3 days, like back on Tuesday. So something is, work, the power went out in my client's area. I had to do a fire watch for him, so I couldn't leave, so I had to reschedule it for Wednesday. But then she couldn't have one for Wednesday. So I'm sorry, I'm going through this rant because I want you to know all the steps that it took to get me to get the Friday one at 8:00 at night. And here's the funny thing. When I got there, we were walking around the store, and the lady positioned us at this table, and the way she positioned it, I was facing in one direction, and this one direction, all of a sudden, this man walks by. I'm like, wait a minute.
Oh my God.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Was that just? He was a little bit bigger. Hang on a sec. Hold on a sec. And I asked the lady. She comes up to me. She's like, "Oh, we're ready for you." I'm like, hold on a sec. Is that guy named? What's his name? Is it Dean? She's like, yeah, Dean. I'm like, Dean. Dean.
The entire store heard that he was looking for him, for 3 years.
Yeah, so I had to, it was.
So you got his number and everything.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, most definitely. I'm like, Dean, I have been looking for you, buddy, and we gave each other a big hug. I gave him such a big hug, and I'm like, wow, I missed you. I've been thinking about you. And he's like, that's funny because I've been thinking about you, and I'm like, boom, that's it, man. That's what connected us.
So since we have been doing the Imaginators, right? We have experienced a lot of synchronicities, and I'm curious, and I'm almost positive that everybody in the audience has done it too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That has experienced that. So it's working, Sometimes it may feel that we're not moving at all, but
Right.
no, things are happening, at a deeper level.
Yeah.
That's starting to shift gears.
Yeah.
So
Again,
Thank you for sharing that
Yeah.
story with me, because it's like, do you two as a couple, do you guys ever think what the other person's thinking?
yeah.
All the time.
But there was a time that was even so much more. So
Yeah, we were
that's
telepathic with each other.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it just tells me that we're not being in touch with ourselves that much. Like doing that meditation,
Well,
right?
it really, the thing that I always tell myself is I don't beat myself up much.
Okay.
But this one thing I do beat myself up much, a lot, is when I look at the life that I've experienced and what I've done for the people I love. See, that's why you hear that thing. What's my biggest regret? Not imagining more.
Right.
Yes.
Because everything that's happened in my life is way bigger than I ever imagined. And then I become, see, there's this place between being incredibly grateful and humble and so thankful for life and how great, I mean, I'm so blessed. So where do I get off wanting more?
Mm.
When I look at my life compared to the majority of the people, and I constantly know that I'm in the, 0.0 something percent. You know what I mean? It's not 1%. It's bigger than that. And the only way that I can change that is when I ask her what she wants.
Well, chapter 13 is all about increase. And the minute you stop, the minute you don't want anything more is when you're going to die.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, because if you're not imagining something that excites you, because it's always going to be, there's always going to be a fear of the unknown. It's just that you put your imagination out there and you just go, what can I do? What could I do with what I got now? Because that's where you got the resources versus being resourceful. And like you said, it's like your mind found an immediate reason not to get the Vision Pro.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to have something else before you get it.
Yeah.
Darn it, I hate when you do that.
Or let me let you off the hook.
Okay. Please.
The thought of the Vision Pro was only to get you back in contact with Dean.
Yeah.
See, that's I go for the latter.
So thank you so much.
Thank
Peter,
you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you
that.
for allowing
my
us to
Honestly,
share.
I just love that.
Yeah.
When
Robert, honestly, I want to tell you, if I can tell you, like I said, it's a series. My life story. It's from, I can never imagine where I am now back, if I'm back at the bench, lying down, sleeping, covered in snow, there's no way that I would have imagined myself here right now. And now, again, when I was younger, I used to do a lot of imagining, but it got beaten out of me.
Yeah.
It's like,
Become realistic,
Right.
you know, and you know, it is pretty interesting how the world and everyone that supposedly loves us says they want the best for us, but it's mediocre.
Right.
It's mediocre.
it's their
And
version
so,
of the best.
yeah, and so, you know, I mean, like, you know, I don't know if some of you have watched, you know,
Yeah, we
that,
did.
yeah, and it just it like most movies should, it gives you a pretty good sucker punch at the very end, because she was an imagination state the entire time trying to help her imaginary friend that she forgot.
Yeah,
Crazy, yeah.
that was amazing.
Yeah, so
Honestly.
I just got chills right now, and it's like,
Oh yeah.
oh, who are you? She just knew she felt something. And it's like, you know, well, let's help all these, you know, imaginary friends get reconnected with their people. You know what I mean? And he's got
The
to be
service of
sitting
many.
around being as quiet as he can. It's like, when are you going to figure this out for yourself?
Right.
You know what I mean? But she
Yeah.
was
Service
willing
of
to
many,
do,
right?
she was willing to do stuff. But if you guys remember, I just thought it was cool when she got into the place where the imaginary friends hung out. That, remember, the older guy just said, yeah, but you could close your eyes and imagine right now, where does this place needs to be? And everywhere she looked, it just changed. It just changed. It just changed. And it's like, I think we all agree that the amount of imagination and faith and belief and law of attraction or universe, whatever you want to call it, I think we all would agree that we're not tapped in like we should be. We're not
Oh yeah.
hardwired
In
the
the
way we
slightest.
should
Yeah,
be.
yeah. Yeah.
Not like
And
we used
and
to.
when you hang around people that are plugged in, what do they tell you to look for? All they tell you to look for is how you feel.
Yeah.
Mm.
How do you feel right now? I feel stressed. I'm sort of worried. I'm uncertain. You know what I mean? You know, a lot of our lives want to have security. And you
Mhm.
look around the world, and the more you look around the world, the scarier it is.
Mhm. Mhm.
I mean, I do my best not to spend too much time on the internet, you know, just like everybody else, but like all of a sudden this thing popped up on Twitter and stuff, and I'm going like, you know, to have Israel just drop like big bombs on Yemen, and you know, it looked like the whole country was on fire. You know what I mean? And I'm going like, damn, man, that,
Yeah.
gee whiz. And, you know, people dropping bombs on people's homes and apartment buildings. And I'm just like going, what the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you know, what can you do about it? It's like, well, we could either think that's going to happen to us, or just do our best to help as many people as we can, as fast as we can, until we can't.
Mhm.
Yeah. And be grateful that it's not happening to us.
Yeah, no
As
kidding.
well. Yeah, absolutely.
Love you.
Yeah.
Love you
Love
Love
guys.
you so much, both, all of you.
One of these days, we're
Big
gonna,
hug.
you and I, Robert. One of these days, we're gonna sit down. I'm gonna tell you some
Yeah.
some
I don't know
stupendous
why.
stories.
I don't know why.
No, that's an HDMI cord.
Well, what is that? Oh my God.
We're last minute
Why would I
there.
show this and then
It has
Linda
a
shows
hole.
me?
We
Yeah,
can-
That's USB.
She's having a great time.
You can tell who the IT person is.
yeah. Linda shows the female part. I'm like, hey, I know.
Oh my God. I'm a tomato right
I
now.
love
Oh
you
my God.
guys.
I love you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Never stop being you. You guys are
Yeah.
amazing. You make my heart swell. You make my heart fill up.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Love you
I
so
love
much.
you guys.
Thank you.
Okay, Matt, why don't you close us out, man?
Absolutely. Thank you, Peter and Linda. You guys are awesome. Thanks, Mom and Dad. So that's the end of this Imaginators call. Thank you guys for being on here with us and hanging out this Sunday. Exciting week of stuff coming out. You know, like we have the podcast that normally comes out. We're doing that live now on Wednesday for you guys. So now you get to see that live. You don't have to wait like all the other people and, you know, watch it on Friday. But if you are one of those people, we still appreciate you. Obviously, you're not on this call yet, but maybe you're watching it later. But yeah, we appreciate you as well. And that does come out on Friday. Of course, on Thursday at 3, we're doing the Inner Circle. And then on Saturday, we're doing the AMA with my dad. So that's also at noon Pacific time. So thank you guys so much. Love and appreciate you. Have a great weekend. Thank you guys. I'm going to ask everybody to unmute here. Let me find where that is.
Thank you, Robert and Terry and Matthew.
Thank you. Love you guys.
Love you guys.
There we go.
Thank you,
Thanks,
everybody.
Robert.
Love you
Thank you
guys.
so much, everybody.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Bye.
Lovely
Have a
to
wonderful
see you all.
Sunday.
Everybody, great
Bye,
seeing
everyone.
you.
Bye, Arthur. Bye, Daniel, Rachel,
Yeah,
Here
Deborah.
we go.
Thanks for the
Everybody.
laughs, Peter and
Bye.
Linda.
Thank you.
With much love.
Coach Bob, Peter and Linda, Peter and Linda, Peter and Linda, Bill Shoemaker.
One is not enough.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Mom and Dad. Thank you guys so much.
Terry. Love
Thank
you guys.